Interestingly enough, I think it was Aiming and Beryl who were first to play Sivir Karma. I know Beryl's played a lot of Karma.
He has certainly been clicking the Karma button quite a bit.
Not going to have a real chance to make something happen. So if Life steps up too far and you find a gank, being a summoner can make a big difference.
Oh, Beryl is going to try and find his way in, and he manages to get the Tangle Barbs. Life goes down, and it's first blood for Aiming. That Arcanic Rookline is could not come any sooner, and in fact it is going to come right now. So there it is.
How's that finished? But now setting up for Dragon. First Dragon in the game pretty late. In fact, so you see Lucid hiding in the brush, but the Dragon's giving away his position.
First items for both of our junglers as Pyoshik does get tagged by Lucid. Fair bit of damage there as Aiming. Doing decent work towards Life as well. And with this Enchanter support, there's not necessarily that go button here for DNF that often teams are able to rely on, as Pyoshik decides to flash in as Bulldog is thrown so far away. The Dragon is going to get secured, and now Beryl going to go down first, but Aiming gets into the back line, and he's able to pick up a double kill. Life going to be another one perhaps, as there's the flash in. Acathian raining down, and he gets that cool animation with Uzi's skin there as well as he locks Beryl, looking for a little bit of an angle, but that's the shape splitter. Still gets a lot of information. As Dudu wandering over a ward, there is the wall down, and Beryl now potentially out of position, and the Pop Blossom not going to do anything at all. Some interruption coming on through, but that is not going to be enough here as DNF pick up the eye, and now look for Lucid and Aiming. Dudu also wanting to burn down Shiu, who does have angles here, but that is a lot of vision surrounding this Dragon for DK. And they will be able to secure it. Items. And when Aiming also gets an ornament, and okay, Dudu taking a lot of damage here from Showmaker. Pop Blossom going to come on through. That will line up another orb shot, and Aiming steals it away with a Void Seeker. And Beryl manages to...
probably a star. And it's a rod. Are they not different?
That's a good point. Seraphs kind of looks like a star. They are.
Why not?
DNF have been pretty good at committing to objectives and then taking them, but DK do know exactly what's going on, the redemption, to heal them all back up again. As Lucid is in the area, it's likely to be a 50-50 as the Shapesplitter actually trying to eat some of these harpoons, but down go the rocks, and there is the Otacon for DNF. Aiming is in the mid lane, just taking a turret. The bottom lane outer does go down as well. DNF got what they were looking for, but at what cost, ladies and gentlemen? As she is also going to stop all of these backs. Lucid also going to make sure Life isn't going home. Showmaker is still taking it in a turret. Beryl is just going to die, but I think that was his plan. Life also just goes into a Cataclysm here. Shiu trying to get himself out. Won't be able to flash because he just used it. And Showmaker, get to work, buddy. This is what it was for.
I think that's, I'm going to call that worth. I think that's pretty worth, you know. I think they're pretty happy with that. They find a window to start up the Atacon, and Dplus unable to contest. Lucid very nervous about approaching into...
handbook. They do have one.
I would love to read it.
Oh, it's joyous as the Cyclone going to come in here from Pyoshik, gets the flash out from Lucid. But otherwise, not too much more is going to be found as Bulldog makes his way all the way in. Beryl just finds two of them, and the Tangle Bobs locks them up, and the Shockwave knocks them down. There's the Flag and Drag as well, the CC, the layering, it is perfect. It's like an onion. Down goes Berserker. He will be able to take Showmaker with him, but there's a knock-up from Shiu. That's for the early game Rumble. As DK will be able to now take this in a turret, and then look, he does get to sign the turrets that he takes. That's pretty cool. All right, the Ram going to come on through here, trying to zone, as there's the double knock-up as well from Lucid as he gets into the backline, but Pyoshik is also buying a lot of time. It's a trade of junglers. As with the Baron, probably still going to be okay here for DK. As Shiu's still a tank, finds a bit of an angle here, gets right underneath that turret. That was a very weird interaction and series of things that happened. And in the end, the result was Shiu's dead and so's the turret.
Okay.
We're a bit fast and loose with that, and it always has. It's when will they learn? And the answer is never. They will forever be DK.
Oh, look, it just rotated.
Yep. Oh, it's actually so sick.
You want it to be.
I know. I'm pretty sure he's eligible too.
I mean, he's won 2 worlds on different teams.
Yeah.
He's won your heart. I mean, Berserker will do a good amount of damage to Shiu, is what I was trying to say on my point before we got distracted by Jack
Oh, wait, they're not
protein.
even mirrored. They're just the same.
Yeah, it's just Jack
Just
showed
exactly the same.
the protein.
The protein Jack shoes. Love that.
Losing my mind.
Fantastic. This is some Rise Group content. As all right, the Ram's going to come on down. Shiu finds only one knockup, but still this whole team is split. Pop Blossom going to connect onto Dudu, but already Berserker is getting some work done. And Beryl, how did he live? He should not have lived. Showmaker's going to go gold and is now aiming, taking matters into his own hands. Still has the flash. DK, they're going to get out with protein Jack shoes, man.
Yeah, he has those half arm items.
Yeah.
Like the hybrid ones. Oh, there's a flank.
Yeah, Bulldog going to get put into the baby cage, and the Ram is going to come down to stop any sort of follow-up. As you can see, Shiu actually going for it here, gets a knock-up onto life, and is not going to get snared either. So that is a dead Bulldog for the next 50 seconds. He does have teleport, but that is such a long death timer at this stage of the game.
Yeah, it's still a bit spooky to go to the Baron because Equalizer's up, Cyclone's up. They will start it, but this is very fightable for DNF. Look at the low health bars on Dplus.
Yeah, Showmaker is actually needing to be very, very careful here. Gets the Seraph Shield, but now that's going to be on cooldown. As Beryl looking for an angle here, doesn't get the Pop Blossom onto anything at all. Neither does he hit the Tangle Bobs. His aiming has said that he just wants to dive into 4 people, and it's going to be successful. Void Seeker will land, but he doesn't have any more killer instinct because he used all of it in that last fight. And whatever that was, it just worked.
Main character Kai'Sa energy there from aiming, just flies in, complete confidence.
He couldn't have been
aiming
more
doing exactly what he needs to there. And now Mountain Soul for Dplus. If you thought that Bloodthirsty shield was obnoxious.
Yeah, and also if you thought that the Jack shows wasn't quite doing enough, maybe it'll be fine now. As we've also he's got the magic damage shield. He's got the regular mountain shield as well.
He's also
Shiu is unkillable.
He's approaching. He's building around the wins.
Yeah, and so Reese was there joining him or helping him out or something like that. That's why aiming got away with it.
Yeah, nothing.
Might have been the angle.
Yeah, you hear that they're going to do like a reunion.
Yeah. That's actually, I think, why it's in my brain, because I saw something about that more recently.
What a great show.
Oh, it's such a good show. That's a lot of our teenage years, or at least mine. Maybe it was your primary school.
Not that much younger than you.
No, actually not that much. As all right, the entire ring of these inhibitor turrets has gone down. And DNF, one last defense, one last chance to keep themselves alive in this game. One thing to remember, though, is that this is Rise Group. Anything can happen in Game 2. Have to keep their mental intact, but this game is looking done and dusted. As there's a Cataclysm from Lucid, finds a nice double knockup. Finally, a Pop Blossom lands, and Beryl is going to die yet again, but aiming is untouched outside of this equalizer as the Killer Instinct comes in. Bulldog not going to die to it just yet, but he has to come out of stasis eventually, and the Acathian is raining down to grab all these kills. There's nothing reliable about Beryl's Bard. Especially after the last game.
And the thing is, I mean, I assume is Berserker going to take...
just barding. He's
I feel like
around.
I'm concerned for him.
And
I'm not sure he is.
He's absolutely not. We're flashing for it. It's live. Finds the double pole as Bioshik comes in and says, no magical journeys for you. You're only allowed to go on magical journeys to be used.
That fierce stun was such a crazy angle.
Oh, here's Lucid. There's Bioshik. The taunt does come on down, but Lucid gets kicked back. And Bioshik manages to make his way out. Now Bulldog trying to take on Showmaker here, but the stun will come on down. And DK looking a bit worse for wear. As DNF also limping away from that fight, but still, gank not going to quite work out as, oh God. This is getting a bit messy here towards this bottom side of the map as well, as DK trying to hold them in position. There's the flash forward, the force shot. Oh, not going to be enough. Gets the flash with the flourish. But would have loved to get a kill on the board, and now...
You're so low!
He is super low, as the Q is going to come on through as the teleport!
Okay.
Beryl just going back home. He has Meeps to protect, okay? Meeps were calling from the base, and so he needed to go collect the chimes. He needed to collect the chimes. As all right, that magical journey is not going to get him exactly where he wants, as there is a cow. There's also Bioshik. As this dragon going down lower and lower. Lucid, let's see whether he can lock that one down as the exhaust now on cooldown here for Beryl. As Bulldog once again fighting a bear, this time it's made of metal, as Shiu is not. He is Not exactly.
That's one of the best ones for securing the little boots.
Yep.
Oh.
As aiming going to get exhausted.
Nice flash bin there from Life with the exhaust setup.
He's been pretty good at keeping up the aggression. Speaking of which, Pyosik moving into the river now, as he did land a Sonic Wave, so that means he has to press Resonating Strike. As Lucid just going in, already down to 50% health as this is looking rough. He has to flash, but the flashes are all there. Tempered Fate to allow him to live a little longer. And does have that broken item, but he is just going to get taken down. That is Feats of Warfare here for DNF, and the Yunara getting a kill.
Not really the same level of engage here, and it's a little bit worrying.
The Sonic Wave is Pyosik just going to drive Shelly into this turret. Not going to be able to take it completely, but gets very, very close.
Yep. So I'm going to try and push for it right now.
Yep.
Circle the wings
should be able to get a couple of autos. There it is.
Yeah. They had Dudu and
but he might be able to get a Tibbers. And that's worth maybe
not quite as much.
Not quite as much at this stage of the game. Okay. That is a public execution here on Dudu is aiming. We're going to try and get some damage down himself. Shu, will he get pulled back? There's the flash in, but my god, the healing is disgusting. Just not quite enough to get through the curtains that have been called. Oh, that's just, he just gave him 50 gold, Showmaker. And now he's tagged by a Slurkle as the redemption comes in. Lucid in so much trouble, and he'll get taken down as well. A huge dive as Life is just taking control in this game.
He's doing so much, you know, having the Alistair there to dive so easy.
Yeah, there we go. Well, let's see whether this Otacon is what the DN Freecs want. As Showmaker is running up the river, or swimming, or something, as Xiu looking to try and dash out of the way, but finds the public execution, then trying to get back to the rest of his team as the Tempered Fate to try and buy some time, as the Ambessa somehow lives for such a long time. The Galio is still going to come on through though, and Lucid not going to be able to heal himself up enough. There is the curtains being called, but it is curtains for DK. Is that a quadra-kill? Yes, it is for this Yunara. And it is almost
available.
They certainly do not. So a little bit disrespectful there, but they are getting punished for its name all the time.
Yeah.
And yet, we don't know anything about how he is. As Beryl, oh, the fake out.
Everyone's asking where is he mountable, not how is he mountable.
Well, are we asking how is Beryl? And the answer would be soon to be dead. How does he feel about that? Not entirely sure.
I think we know. I think Barrel's fine with it.
Yeah. As we can see in the player cam, expression has not really.
Yeah.
That's the.
If he collects enough chimes, they do scale infinitely, right?
True. There you go. As public execution going to come on through, Bulldog flashes away though. She looking a bit worse for wear. That is a big burst of damage, but nothing that's actually going to get too much. Still, Showmaker does take an inner turret towards the bottom side. That might be something. Somehow there's no bounties up, even though it's a 6,000 gold lead here at 24 minutes. Pyosik comes on over, looks for Beryl, finds the kickback angle, doesn't quite get him over the wall, but gets him close enough to Dudu to make sure that the Bard is once again dead. He had someone that he needed to have a chat to in the Beyond, and he certainly has an chimes to collect. Okay?
He wasn't scared of dying, he didn't even know there was anyone coming.
He had a business arrangement. Yeah, as all right, Magical Journey gonna get denied here by Life, who does pop the ulti pretty early. Still DK, they do not want this. And you can understand exactly why. Showmaker is spotted. Now slightly out of position, breaks the chains, but Life is going to find him. The exhaust goes down and the Annie is dead before she can do anything. Public execution, just because she knew he had no way out. He'll go down as well. Man, this is utter domination here on the Rift for DNF. 9.4 thousand gold is the lead. As DK, yeah, I think take some Krugs. That's probably about the option here. As the Baron gonna get started, and I just don't know if there's any way DK can dissuade them from just taking this.
Yeah, Manba's playing Disruption to try and stop Lucid getting in.
Yeah.
That flash.
Curtain call does come on through here. As the rest of DNF diving on over. In goes Lucid, trying to get the angle. He flashes into the pit, and they stop the aggro. Down it will go. Pyosik gets back over. That is Baron. Well, that was 100%. A clean.
If the goal was getting in the, if that's what wins you the game, just getting in the pit, then he succeeded.
Yeah, if the Nexus was there at 1 health, he might have been able to do
it. He did die as soon as he got the pit.
Thought that counts. When I gave a bad gift. So, right. Life looking for an angle. Speaking of angles, Shiu gets into that back line, but the Pulverize is there to answer. Oh, speaking of pulverized.
Where'd they go?
Yeah, Showmaker just disappeared. Lucid gonna follow suit as Berserker just cleanses because he can. Heroic entrance, and it's not all that heroic if the game is basically already over. That is gonna be the ace here.
Oh, and he lives!
Okay. Yeah, DNF, they're just gonna finish off these Nexus turrets, and guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We get it. The third game in the series. DNF managing to win one against DK here in rounds 3 through 5. And they might fun, this team composition here from the DN Freecs. On the Dplus Kia side, they are going to win in the mid game, or they are going to die a horrible death, is kind of how it's going.
Enemy Cassante all outs you and then flashes on you. I wonder if they're trying to take... I wonder.
Well, he's still going to find Pyoshik here.
You know, I think Shu's intuition did not fail him there.
No, he intuited
As
well.
well. If you can get to that 2-item spike, get 4 stacks on Pyoshik, you're feeling good.
Well, you're also feeling good if you're Lucid here, looking for an angle onto Bulldog, who gets pulled into the red pit and then charmed up. Orbiter Setchum comes down, and there is the kill secured. First blood, actually, here at 13 minutes into the game. Kind of late, to be honest. You mentioned already that it was a slow game. I believe you.
I think it would have just been better to hold the flash. I think there's one of those situations where into Viari...
Than the Rod of Ages, but that will pay off later in this game.
It's also nice getting the Ultima Hunter stack.
Oh dear. Well, Dominus is going to be utilized here by Shiu, but he's just thrown around like a ragdoll and will get taken down by Pyoshik, who I believe gets a mark for it. Never mind.
No, he has Vi.
That was still on Vi. Never mind.
We put it back on Vi.
Yeah.
So
doing a lot of switcheroo.
Yeah, deliberating between... Still a good kill to get.
Oh, Bulldog gets out of there.
Wants to play it safe. And Tower picked up as well for DNF, so first of the game.
Yep, second one is going to go down here towards the bottom side, but that'll be a little bit late. So clawing back the gold lead here, and you can see 200 is all that it is now. This will be the objective feats of strength going over to DK if they can lock it in. But Pyoshik looking for an angle. Dance of Arrows gets him towards Beryl here, as there's the culling just to dissuade them from coming over. But everyone's here on DNF's side. Shiu now looking for an angle. Doesn't have flash though, but there's the Vault Breaker to bring them on top of Dudu. The steal for Pyoshik is fantastic, but Bulldog just blows up off to the side, and over the wall goes Lucid. He's out, and he's back in again. I don't know about that one, as he just gets magnetized. And the Lamb's Respite comes in. There's the pull away, but I don't know whether that was the target that Dudu really wanted to get. As now Pyoshik, he's able to get over the wall, but the rest of them, they just get destroyed. As DK, they lose the objective, but they win everything else.
Yeah, big fight there.
And perhaps not the Renekton either.
Like as well, if he'd gotten the heal and then had used his ult to sustain back up a bit, maybe could have more of a fight. Because it would have essentially been a 4v4 coming out of the ult. Maybe if they burst down the Renekton.
Yeah. Could have been a potential angle. Speaking of angles, Beryl is going to be able to stand beside aiming, and that will be able to keep him alive. Yeah, there was a Rise rotating over.
Does have those 4 stacks, so he is starting to be a lot more of a threat now.
Yep, it's scary.
They are down in gold though overall.
Well, Beryl once again going to be taking a fair bit of damage. Has the Redemption in position, and we'll be able to keep him alive with that. As the Drake...
We have completed 2 items for Shiu, for Lucid. Berserker's close to having his Manamune stacked up. Very close, very close. Bulldog is close to having his Seraph a little further away.
Ow, man, this 2-item Ari is actually kind of hurting.
Oh, he needs that Manamune stacked up.
Oh, Seraph's is done. Shiu on a flank angle, though. The entirety of DNF are grouped up. They get control of the mid lane. That is at least something, as this is Soul Point. It's a big deal. Banana Brush control is there for DNF. They have that ward in the pit. Shiu still lying in wait. Control ward goes down, finds the Crocodile, who only gets a slice. And now they dive in on top of Dudu. Shiu able to get himself out of there as Dudu is able to pull them in, but the Lamb's Respite, just the corner of it there for Lucid was very, very funny. As there's the all-out, Dudu getting himself out again once more. And it is just Beryl that's on the ground. Never mind, I say that. And now it is Lucid that's dead as well. How did that even happen? The Realm Warp brings Bulldog over, and that is going to be the end of aiming. We thought that it was going to be the Otacon throw, but it was the Soul Point throw instead.
Berserker
Yep, here's the angle. He does get the Valkyrie in. The flash comes out, the flash to follow, and Berserker picks it up. Pyosik going to be able to grab a dragon here for DNF. And this game is all tied up now.
That's the momentum killer that comes through. The Kindred buying so much time. The reset's not able to come in. And so many members of DNF surviving on such low amounts of HP.
So much of that made absolutely no sense as well. All of these health bars were on basically nothing.
Max. It's Rise Group.
That yeah, they didn't catch on, as it turned out.
Yeah.
Pyosik did officially go down to 1 HP, by the way. Now DNF are on the Otacon. And DK are here, Lucid in position. The culling comes down, Life already down very, very low as Pyosik is the only one knocked up by that ulti from Beryl. Still, DK have that redemption, and it is going to be Pyosik that locks down the objective now. They're looking for a potential fight as oh dear, the charm connects onto Bulldog, but he gets into the Lamb's Respite, and oh no, the Rel is going to miss out. There is the ult from Lucid, and now the resets finally come in. Xiu and Dudu just doing their own fight off to the side here. Xiu wants none of it, but that is 3 for 1, and DK will take that any day of the week. It's basically clean, because Beryl dying is just normally part of 100%. Xiu is going to be able to make his way in here. This is definitely gone. As DK, they're going to say, you can have your Otacon. Before the last one, anything is throwable. It was a big lead for DK. And this Rebel Baron power play hasn't quite gone to absurd levels, right? It's a very early one. That means that often you don't get quite as much value. But still, DK very, very happy to have control because it means Soul Point is well and truly on the cards.
Yep, 35 seconds away, and Baron's still going to be up for them, so they can keep things pushed up and look to play for that. All they have to be cautious about is a big engage, but I think so many members of Dplus are quite mobile. It's very hard to find an engage angle onto a Lucian or an Ahri unless they really overstep.
Now Lucy going to find this control ward over the wall. And DNF, at least dealing with this wave quite well. As another one is going to crash towards this inner turret. That is just going to die. So that will be the prize here for DK. Extending that gold lead ever further, ticking over to about 5k. There it is. 2.4, not too bad as far as the Rebel Baron power play is concerned, and especially if they get themselves this Soul Point. And they're being corralled. Lucid able to get on in here by himself. And there thankfully is like actually some vision that DNF has equal biggest gold lead.
Yeah, of course. And he spent that money well. Look, he has the upgraded plated steel caps.
Yeah.
Lock it.
Absolutely. There's a Magnet Storm though to land onto 2. Out goes Beryl though. He puts up the door. Sometimes you engage, but it's on to 2 of the tankiest members of the team.
Well, they get a flash of Lucid, which is something. But
and the redemption.
Oh, TP flying coming in.
Yep, double teleports coming down as Bulldog once again pretty close to this one, but there's the charm onto Dudu. He has to flash to get himself out of the way. Lucid testing the waters here, but the culling is just going to melt the Rel, and off to the side. Dudu is once again opted in for a 1v1 that Showmaker will say is not, in fact, one of those. The flash forward, but the auto will follow this Corki, and Pyosik, he is in the Lamb's Respite, but he has to dash out of it, and that means it's a triple kill for Showmaker, who gets enough of these resets. Bulldog was backing on a control ward, which is not exactly optimal. And in goes Lucid to lock down the kill onto the Rise. That will secure the ace in trade for 1 Crocodile. And DK, even though it was a long series, it was still a victory here in the end. Unfortunately for DNF, not able to make their way through, but at least we got a Pyosik Kindred game in the end, and they kept it interesting. That was a good play around the Otacon that unfortunately went a little bit wrong, and DK were able to reign supreme.